You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Total Divas After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Total Divas After Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's After Show for Total Divas. We are here wrapping up Season 2, Episode 5, For Better or For Worse. I'm Kaori Takee, and next to me I've got Danielle Pascente.
Hello.
And next to her is the lovely Charlotte Broadbent.
Hi.
And the lovely, question mark, Christian Rosenberg.
I don't think there's I think it's an exclamation point after that. I don't think it's a question mark at all. I am stunning.
This way for the viewers.
Your neighbor just made a huge question mark.
In the air. Aw.
It's all right.
Didn't mean it.
It's all right.
No, she
When we go off the air, I was the one I'll cry.
This is true, guys. We have to make him feel better after the show. All right. Well, we start off this Total Diva show with Natty and Trinity, and they're talking a little bit about Nattie's sex life. Nattie's saying that she hasn't felt like she's been giving TJ enough attention, which triggers also Trinity's, well, crap, I haven't married my man yet. So anyways, we'll get to that.
I knew I forgot something.
Yeah. She's like, wow, I've been engaged to him for 2 years and with him for a long time. I think that might have to happen pretty soon. But Natty and TJ apparently, Natty is a little concerned. She wants to oomph that sex life. She goes to brunch with Ariane / Cameron and the Bella twins. And we discover, and I think this is not real, this is impossible, that Natty does not know what doggy style is.
It's completely fake.
How do you not know? How are you a wrestler and not know what doggy style or doggy position is?
How are you a female in America this day and age?
Yeah.
At that age and not know?
There's no way.
Like,
No
she
way.
definitely seems conservative to me, but that took it to another level.
That's
For
a
not
whole
knowing
because
that.
TJ doesn't seem conservative and she's a wrestler.
Yeah.
There's no there's no way she doesn't know what that is.
I'm sure she's been in like bionic Star Horse position and all kind of weird stuff. I mean, she's a wrestler.
What was
Where'd
that?
you
What was
bionic
that?
what?
Please break it down for us.
Yeah, I need to elaborate on what that means exactly. For
Follow
those of
me on
us that
Twitter if you need to know.
For those of us that are not big bionic Star Wars fans,
I'm just kidding, maybe.
says the girl with the Pac-Man shirt on.
Wait.
But
Is that Pac-Man noise?
it's welcome. That's the Pac-Man noise.
I was way off.
I want that couple second audio on loop. I want that on loop. Someone get that for me, please.
So, yeah, you can do that. But so Natty with the help of Cameron decides, you know what? I've had issues with my sex life as well. So I want to recommend my doctor to you. So Natty invites Cameron's sex doctor to her place with TJ, and they go through different areas of the place and imagine how to have sex, have fun with.
This was really weird.
Yeah, I'm losing.
It was so funny.
It just made no sense.
I was
because-
uncomfortable, and I was watching that at home.
And it made Natty seem very prude as well. For someone who's been in a relationship for 10 plus years, not knowing to eat something on top of. She was confused about the kitchen part.
It was really weird. But then having sex on the whole floor, or the you know what I mean, by
Like-
the
like
door,
the entryway with the door open.
With the door open. Like, what?
Yeah, it was a little weird.
That's strange.
At the end of the episode, when they showed the clip of them playing robbers.
It was bank robber, a guy
again,
breaking
I
into
felt awkward.
TJ breaking into the house like in like all black and honey, where neighbors can surely call the police in that situation.
Right?
And Natty is a schoolgirl. They mixed up two different role play scenarios.
Yeah, that was weird.
It went from not kinky at all to very exciting.
Over the top.
Right away.
To this is no longer kinky. This is just odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Completely.
And Dr. Milford was asking a lot of strange questions.
She is weird. I just really didn't like her. I thought she was weird.
How'd you feel about her when she was talking to Ariane in the previous season?
I slightly remember that. I thought it wasn't as intense though. She really
wasn't as
broke it
weird.
down. Yeah, it wasn't
Right.
as weird.
Yeah.
This was just like, I'm going to take you in every room and tell you all these weird sex things. Like,
That you can do in every room of your house.
yeah. It was like kinky sex. It
And
wasn't
The
just like
Office is
to help
for-
them rekindle their sex life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you rekindle your sex life? I don't know. But, or rekindle your love. But it was like kinky stuff to get them to have like crazy sex.
I mean, it wasn't that kinky. I don't think so, except for the door open part. But that could be exciting too.
I thought she was just gonna talk to them though.
That's what
About it.
That's what I was
And
expecting.
kind
them
of
to
be
sit on
like,
the
how many
couch.
times a week?
Exactly.
da-da-da,
I didn't
but-
expect her to go in every room with them and be like, well, you need to have sex here and do this. And I was like,
Yeah.
She was like sex safing the house or something. She used a term like that.
Sexy thing. Yeah, I think I wrote
yeah,
that down.
it's kind of
actually.
an interesting term. But what did trigger Nattie's mood, you can say, is that TJ remembered their first time. And she didn't remember. And I thought that was really cute how he was talking about how he's liked her for a very, very long time. They were roommates for a while. And then one day it happened. And just like when a guy can remember certain things like that, it's just so sweet.
But
and
then,
especially-
I was gonna say, but then how does he feel when she doesn't?
right? Because usually it's
don't-
the other way around.
I think considering, this is me guessing how many things she probably remembers compared to him, I think they're even. So,
Good point.
yeah.
I remember everything. Well, at least I claim to.
Well, after having awesome sex, I guess, Nattie,
She was glowing.
yeah,
Goal.
she had the sex glow.
She did. I was like, oh my God. She looked amazing.
Yeah.
And she came out there and killed it. Like, she just looked like, bam.
Yeah,
I had
she-
good sex last night. And I'm going to now kill it in the ring.
And now I'm gonna go in the ring and beat the crap out of this girl.
And
Yeah.
all the girls noticed that she was on top of her A game. Literally. It's interesting because it was the Oksana match at main event, and I was actually there because it was the one that main event that taped before SmackDown.
Oh, that was the one in L.A.
Yeah, that was the one in Ontario.
Or that Ontario, excuse me.
So that was really cool. I was like, ooh, I just caught a glimpse
That
of
was cool.
Natty after sex match.
And now you and the other 10,000 people that were in that arena be like, oh.
So now we know why she did so well at that match. Ooh.
That's juicy.
She needs to have some more crazy sex.
Well, for me, this particular storyline, I felt that they were pushing it a little. Like,
Yeah,
it was kind of
totally.
maybe a dry week or something because she doesn't come across as someone who has struggles with sex life or has struggles with her relationship with TJ, really.
No, and see, I don't think that this is a dry week though, because there was a wedding in this.
Sure.
There's a big thing with Eva Marie, and then
And then
also
there was that
just like
storyline.
three
True.
like
This,
big and
this was the comic relief part of the show.
Yeah.
Because you needed something to kind of laugh about, and we're all
True.
sitting there laughing is like, this is ridiculous. Why are we learning about this right now?
Did you feel awkward when, which Bella was it? Brie Bella bent over to show what doggy style was, and when they were all talking about it? I'm
Did
asking you.
I feel awkward?
Yeah.
Why would I
was
feel
loving
awkward
it.
seeing a hot girl bend over on TV? Now, maybe if I mean, it's a PG show, 14 TV 14
I
show?
don't
I don't know.
know.
But regardless, I mean, it was just like, I felt it was dumb that they had to show her. I mean, hell, Ariane and Trinity bend over on the ring
Shake that
entrances.
butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they really bend over
Yeah.
all the time. You know what?
I mean, Ariane was busy twerking during the episode, for crying out loud.
It would be weird though if you got up and bent over right now. I'm just letting you know. Did I make everyone feel awkward? I think I did.
was that a dab?
That's
I-
my goal.
I don't
He's
want.
thinking about it.
I
over
don't
there
want-
now. He's like,
I don't want our viewers to go from several thousand to 0. So I'm going to refrain myself. If you want that, Hit me up on Twitter. No, that's weird.
But you know,
Wow. People on Twitter are getting some weird
yeah.
things from you two today.
Only female requests, though.
hit Rosenberg up on Twitter. He might bend over.
See Rosie
VOC.
And you're going to tell people about Star Wars.
The bionic.
Now we got to come up with some reason for them to tweet you two.
Okay,
And
definitely
while-
not.
We're good. I think we'll pass.
While you guys are getting over to tweet us, stop over to iTunes as well and give us 5 stars for the bionic Star Wars or anything else. 5 stars is great. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think of this after show, what you thought of the episode of Total Divas. We love to keep that conversation going. Go over to YouTube as well. As you can tell, we are always communicating with you guys. And thank you for tuning in. 5 stars. Awesome blossom.
I was waiting for your whisper.
I know he always does.
5 stars.
5 stars.
Please.
I'm not begging.
The whisper voice draws it in nicely.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
There you go.
Seals the deal.
All right, so let's talk about something more somber and less comedic. Eva Marie is having huge stomach issues because her stomach is just bloated. She feels pregnant. Well, not pregnant, but she feels like just huge. So she has to go to the ER. Jonathan takes her. And there's a lot of things that go down.
Yeah.
A lot of tests happen. Basically, she might have an ovarian cyst, so they have to take a pelvic sonogram right away. And it turns out there is a cyst, and it looks like it was ruptured. So initially, she just has to take a lot of rest and let the fluid
Wait it out,
dissolve in itself. Then there's another follow-up, and her cavity, it's not formed like a regular cavity. And there's 2 peaks rather than having it look like a pear. So it's a misshaped uterus. So she might have trouble in the future bearing children.
The problem I had with this is there's so many technologies now that, yes, it might be hard for her to have kids, but it's not going to completely eliminate the fact that it's not a subject where you cannot have kids.
Yeah.
And she was kind of and I know this is a really tough subject and I don't want to sound insensitive, but I've been through something similar to this, and there's so much that goes on now that she's not, I think she reacted she was very upset.
I mean, you think she was emotional?
Very, very emotional. And I don't think she needed to be as emotional. But everyone's emotional to different extents, so that makes me sound really insensitive, and that's not what I'm meaning.
I think it was the initial shock.
Yeah.
And so she was emotional. But I kind of agree in the sense that there should be more than one medical opinion. And it was like when she heard the first one, it was over from there, you know? And she could go back multiple times and get multiple opinions, which is kind of what her parents were saying. You know, we're going to take care of this. We're going to keep going to the doctor. So I think off the top, she was just super emotional about it.
Didn't she say they went to 3 different consultations? I wasn't sure. I think
Towards the end,
Jonathan
they said they went
mentioned
to 3 different doctors.
Yeah.
But was it for the same thing? Was it for figuring out if she could have kids?
Either way, it does sound like she is still stressed about the idea of having children. So I felt bad for her because
I definitely felt bad for her.
someone that wants children eventually, that's tough. And as you get older, it gets more, what's the word? It gets more risky, I guess.
Yeah.
But she does have, not to sound insensitive as well, but she does have the money to help her when that time comes.
Yes.
Because
And that's what I think that was what I was. I feel really bad. I feel like I sounded insensitive, but it's going to be it's a good like couple years away, right? And if not more, depending on her career in wrestling. And I think right now there's just so much that you can do to have kids when you're in this situation. But she's probably not thinking about that. She's probably just like, oh my God, I can't have kids the normal way.
Yeah, because the key thing in her case, if she's trying to make a career as a WWE diva, she's not going to dream of having kids for 4 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Right.
If she's going to have like a legit career in WWE. So it's almost like, all right, once you reach that point and you sense that your career is starting to wind down, then start trying to figure this out. And that's what so many divas have done.
Well, that's the good thing about Jonathan I was actually shocked at how well he managed this situation.
He was great this episode.
Yeah.
He really was.
I usually kind of think he's a little douchey Just kidding. You're still welcome to come to AfterBuzz. But he really did really well in this particular episode. The way he spoke to her, how he said, yeah, I really want children, but you know what? We'll talk about that when that time comes. It's more important for you. How he pushed her to make contact with her parents.
Oh, I was so happy about that.
Yeah.
I was beyond ecstatic.
It was really good to have them unite, and also to see clips of Jonathan getting along with Barry, his name is, I think, Eva's dad.
I don't know.
So
Yeah, I'm not sure. But
it was good to see them getting along. And him finally, the dad finally saying something to him. That was good. I mean, we've waited for so long for him to even remotely accept Jonathan. So even just a few words that he said, like, thanks for taking care of her, was like, finally.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's a huge push. And I think at the end of the day that if they know how much he loves her and how much he wants to take care of her, that means and says a lot for her. For
I
them.
think so too. And I think the parents are they're not talking to Eva. I think they've gone way too far.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's their daughter. Like, this guy obviously cares about her. I mean, they're married. They're stuck together for a while.
Well, she did
They've committed to marriage.
I would kind of disagree with you in regards that her parents have taken it too far. I know, for example, like with my family, if I suddenly married a girl that my parents had no idea who she was and didn't know anything about it, they would never speak to me again.
Yeah, some families are like that.
Yeah.
Never, ever?
Never.
Ever, ever?
Never, ever. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Never, ever.
Or Taylor Swift. You guys will never ever get back together.
Oh, I thought she was talking about Outkast.
I think
Actually
she was.
never, ever.
Yeah, she
Never,
was.
ever.
Thank you.
But I was trying to make it,
More current.
more current, up to date.
Yeah,
You know.
I don't listen to Taylor Swift, so
Yeah, right. No, I'm just kidding.
I have a poster in my wall.
I guess it does depend what, because I know my mom would never be able to just
Yeah, my parents wouldn't either.
yeah.
They can, kind of express when they're not happy with the
Yeah.
relationship I'm in, but I'm fortunate enough to have parents that are just very, you do your thing as long as you're happy, as long as you're happy, because they don't ever want to not be part of my life, and vice versa. So-
Yeah.
But I am very happy to see how this situation was handled. It gave Eva a more, you felt for her a little more.
Completely.
Yeah. It was because you're so used to, in the previous episodes and the previous season, for her just getting and getting and getting and not really working as hard as the other divas. And this is the first thing that you see that she's really struggling with. Because even when her parents were mad at her for getting married, it was kind of her bad because she didn't tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just eloped. So, I felt for her. And if you guys know from the previous season, I was not an Eva fan.
Neither were you.
Nope.
right?
No.
Nope.
I think too that I feel like a ruptured cyst would be extremely painful, and I felt that the whole episode, if they were actually documenting it when it happened, she didn't seem like,
She
I
was
don't
laying
know,
on the
I would have
couch
been
with a
like
hot water bottle.
crying. Yeah, she kind of held it
Yeah.
together, I guess. I would have been crying in a lot of pain, and I heard it is very, very painful when
Yeah.
it ruptures, like that you're in an extreme amount of pain down
But
there.
you can't
so-
even stand up.
Yeah.
It's that painful.
Yeah,
and I
I-
don't think this was captured anywhere near around the time that it actually happened.
I
Yeah.
agree with you because when when you had clips of her in the car and she was like, "Oh, I heard I couldn't feel it." I thought she was doing some bad acting, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
I couldn't tell. If
Yeah.
it was real.
And she could also, I'm sure like the WWE trainers, the Performance Center, they don't necessarily work on ovarian cysts per se, but I'm sure she's able to go there for like massages and like
Yeah,
extra
for
things to like help her and things like that. But no,
the last thing you want is a massage, though.
okay, well, not massage. I don't.
I was like,
I'm sorry. I don't exactly. I don't
just clarifying,
deal with this. Thankfully, but I don't. But I'm sure they could have helped in some way.
But definitely, I mean, when there's trainers around and people that are qualified, they definitely know, or at least exactly like they know someone to send her to right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think she's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's feeling better.
I'm sure
Eva,
she
if
is.
you're out there, we hope you're feeling better.
They're like, cut. Okay, I'm good now. I'm good now. I'm just kidding. Kind of kidding.
Do it.
But let's talk about something that really, 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 really happened. Trinity and John's wedding.
Yay!
It was so beautiful, and they showcased everything
so pretty
that led up to it. They got married in Maui with a very intimate ceremony. But one thing that threw a wrench in their gears was that the twins, the Usos' dad, who is Rikishi, wasn't there. How'd you feel about seeing Rikishi in Total Divas? Look at that.
I felt kind of awkward, and he seemed awkward on camera.
He did seem awkward.
Rikishi, for people that are listening that might not know, was a very popular wrestler in WWE's Attitude Era, so kind of circa around 98-ish through 2000. He was around till about 2005 as far as that character, but he was in the WWE earlier as part of a tag team called the Head Shrinkers. He was known in the Attitude Era for pretty much slamming his 400-pound ass into opponents' faces. Like, he had a move that was called...
Showed a couple of those clips.
He was at some point.
Okay, because he lost.
Because he had a move that was literally called the stink face. Because he's this giant Samoan that was just a giant ass. But he was actually... And it was kind of a shame because he's actually an incredibly talented wrestler, but he was known for that one comical move. But for his size, he moved around extremely well. And he's part of that, I know I'm going to butcher this last name, the Anoa'i family, which has generations and generations of WWE wrestlers all over the place. And obviously, his twin sons, the Usos, are the current WWE Tag Team Champions. So he was on Raw that night because once a year, WWE does what they call an old school Raw and bring back some past like legends or
old
staples of people from Raw's past. And Rikishi actually wrestled a match. And he still wrestles. He still tours around, does appearances. He actually has a training school out here in California, the Knox Pro Academy that he is a head trainer at. And so it was
like a plug.
Rikishi, I just plugged your damn school.
So come on,
Give me some love.
Come on.
Give me some love. But yeah, so he's still obviously heavily involved in all things wrestling. And I think the one thing he didn't want to be a part of, though, was a reality show.
It was like he was trying not to break that fourth wall on the camera. He's like, okay, don't look at the camera.
Yeah. It was like
just
the side of his face the whole time, too, I feel.
And I noticed he looks so much like his twin boys. That's ridiculous. Anyways,
it was a lot of information, though.
Okay.
I mean, because we found out that, I didn't even know that his dad wrestled. So then we see him wrestling, and then he comes down and he speaks to, seem like, has he met Trinity? Obviously.
I would hope so.
That's the thing. It felt kind of like they don't really have a relationship.
Yeah, but they're all in WWE, so I found that confusing. Then this is the first time he's heard about the wedding. Again, I found that kind of confusing because it's a couple days away. Yeah. And I think it was just a lot. I was like, this is just a lot of new stuff that is being thrown at us, and then while we're supposed, this is a wedding.
It was kind of weird for him too, I would say, because he just had a match. He walks backstage, and then these two bombard him like, "Hey, we gotta tell you something right now," you know?
I just think there's so much drama lately on this show that's unnecessary, and so you wonder how much is just produced that way.
Yeah. That's the key thing, produced, because actually Rikishi earlier today was responding to tweets regarding people kind of tweeting him and be like, how could you be so mean and not show up to the wedding? And he tweeted earlier, this was one from these were last night. Sometimes the storylines of reality TV mirror those of wrestling. #all4entertainment. And then he also tweeted, remember, there's very little real in reality TV.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You said it. You can come on this couch and talk about it as well.
That's kind of dropping everyone in it, though.
Yeah. Essentially, kind of what he was implying, which from various news sites, and obviously taken with a grain of salt, was that this wedding was not their real wedding, is what he's pretty much trying to say.
But there were pictures on Twitter of them getting married.
Sponsored by WWE.
Although I was...
Hey, why not?
Right.
Why not?
Did you see the cake?
Yeah, right?
Speaking of, did you see her dress? That was see-through and beautiful. But
so pretty.
It was like a wrestling see-through dress,
Yeah, she can wear that to the ring.
And it was so cute how her dad was crying. Like,
that was balling. That was cool.
And John's brother.
Yeah.
I think I teared up just a little bit during that
It
part.
was a really cute wedding.
It was really cute, yeah.
You know they were watching that at home, yes, like together, and John was looking at his brother Jay like, look at you looking like a fool.
Totally,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I was hoping to see Roman Reigns, and I thought he went to the wedding.
I don't know. I don't know who
I
was
thought he
invited
went-
to the wedding.
Roman Reigns is one of my favorite.
He's technically related in that family as well. Like I
Yes.
said, they're all related. Tamina
hot.
Snuka is somehow in that family.
Look up Roman Reigns. He's hot.
I
Ladies.
found out that Uso means brother yesterday.
I didn't know that.
didn't know
Did you look
that.
that
I
up?
didn't know that either.
I got told that.
Oh.
So maybe it's not true. Should have looked it up.
I'm not
after
sure,
I
but it'd be
got
kind
told
of
that.
it'd be kind of
But
funny if their tag team name was the Brothers.
It means
Yeah.
something like brother, family, like it's.
They screamed Uso at the wedding
Because I
ceremony
thought that
too.
that was his
Yeah.
last name. Yeah.
No, that's
yeah.
just a stage name.
What is their last name?
It's Anowai, or I don't know
Yeah,
how you
it was
pronounce it.
something. It was something intense.
I know.
was like, oh.
It's like A''Noai or something like that.
That's some pretty good spelling bee right there.
Yeah,
Sounds like you're saying
Hawaiian
it right.
version.
I might be saying, I don't know. I could be butchering it, and I apologize to the family if I'm butchering their last name.
But yeah, I was really surprised that it just felt that considering how close Trinity and John are, that Rikishi, and yes, it's staged, but we're going to go along with it, that Rikishi had no idea how serious they were becoming or that they were going to get engaged.
Right.
And
Yeah.
even for me, when they were waiting for him to come, I never got a clear, yes, he's coming to the wedding either. So I wasn't surprised that he didn't make it.
His answer was totally half-assed too. It wasn't like he's like, I'll definitely be
Yeah.
there. He's like, and then he started crying.
Yeah.
And that was it. And
Yeah,
then they
it's
gave
like,
him
let
a
me know
hug.
the plans.
It was almost
Yeah.
like he was crying, like, why is this happening?
I actually thought we were going to get like the sappy reality show moment, and like 10 minutes before the wedding starts, he shows up.
I did too. When they were
Yeah.
looking at, Trinity was looking out the window. I was like, his dad's gonna walk in now.
I thought so
like,
too.
sorry,
It's
sorry
gonna
I'm
be
late.
okay.
Just
Yeah.
find a seat.
Rikishi walks down the aisle instead.
Dun, dun.
His music hits.
But it was a very beautiful wedding.
It was pretty.
I think that about wraps up everything. But is there any highlights? I mean, the White House was beautiful. They had a really nice place in Maui.
They did.
That was
It
gorgeous.
stunning.
Yeah.
And it looked like the party after was fun.
They finally got married. So now we got to see 2 weddings.
Yeah.
And soon, by the end of the season,
I
we'll
mean,
have a
one.
third. No, we saw
We
Natty.
got tweeted.
Oh, yeah, Natty,
I
that's
can't remember
right.
who it was. Did we prefer Nattie's or Trinity's?
As far as the wedding,
Yeah,
I think I like Trinity's. It's a little
I do too.
more intimate. Nattie's was a little more
Fancy.
very generic. It was beautiful. But it's very typical.
Yeah,
I imagine Bree's is gonna be a little hippie.
yeah. I do too. I like Trinity's too. Nattie's was it was traditional, like fancy, like whereas theirs was just. I don't know. I felt relaxed watching it.
I know they're in Maui, and you just
Yeah.
see the view, and you're like, man, I would love just a piece of that.
Yeah.
How about you? What was your
I
favorite?
think I like Breeze the best.
Yeah?
I know that wasn't it wasn't in
that
the
wasn't a
tweet,
choice.
Well,
But I have to say, Sedona is gorgeous.
Are you a
I've
hippie?
always wanted to get married.
you kind of
there.
look like a hippie.
I'm not a hippie. I swear. But Sedona is gorgeous, and I've always wanted to get married there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
How about you? Where do you want to get married? What's your dress gonna be like?
It's going to be fuchsia. Now, if I were to pick between one of the 2 weddings, I would pick Trinity's just because, like, the location, how they had that private house and on the beach, and the view is just gorgeous. But I personally want a lot of people there. I don't want, like, a small wedding. I want a bunch of people there. So I want, like, a happy, like, I want Trinity's setup, and then I want Nattie's guest list.
Yeah.
See, for me, I want a very small ceremony, but then a gigantic reception.
Yeah.
You know, free alcohol and awesome cake, because people remember that cake. You know,
And the open bar.
yeah, people
Open bar
remember.
key.
If you don't have open bar, people have to pay for your present and alcohol.
Actually,
Right,
My
for
my
no-go.
my sister actually had a brilliant thing at her wedding a few years ago. So obviously they had the open bar, the killer cake, great food, and all that. But then with like a half hour left in like the reception or so, all of a sudden the waitstaff started coming around with like or like they had like a cart of like cheeseburgers and fries.
Yeah.
Like an extra like late night snack.
It's the
like,
late
that
night.
is brilliant.
Because-
I want more of those.
Weddings start at 5 and they typically end around 11.
Right.
10 or 11, and people get hungry in between them.
True.
So I
Yeah.
just think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like all of a sudden I'm talking with one of my family members, and all of a sudden I look over, I'm like, well, how does that person have a burger?
I
could
want
use a
one.
burger.
Here's
I
the
know.
card.
I go over here, done. And then I was happy.
It's always very important to keep your guests happy so they remember. So cake and free
Definitely.
alcohol.
Yeah.
And burgers at the end of the reception.
And
Tacos.
and
Or
hook up with
tacos
your
work,
single.
too.
Queso.
Oh, are you hungry?
I am. And I just love fast
She's like
food.
drifting apart into like Garfield world. Like lasagna's
Queso and
next.
burger. How about a workout?
Garlic bread.
Oh.
I need to.
All right.
After dinner.
That's true. We should all grab dinner and a workout, but
This is-
led by Christian Rosenberg.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna lead the workout. DDP yoga.
I
That's what I'm gonna
cannot
do.
Wait for this.
I work out.
Oh,
You guys know
Look
that song?
at her.
She's just dropping all the older songs.
She's like a personalized DJ. So is there anything that we want to bring up as well in this episode left?
In this episode, we saw Daniel Bryan for a second making fun of
He
Natty.
always he's like so dog semen is always super glued or something.
Oh yeah, was that to Nikki?
I think it was to Nikki.
Yeah.
And we didn't see John.
Yeah.
No
I mean,
John
what
this
is there to
episode.
say about John other
Yeah.
than he's rich, he gets what he wants, and
Has a hot girl.
Has a
who
hot
wants
girl.
lots of sex.
but Nikki will do
Wait.
anything for him.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do you guys think eventually, I know your answer, that they will get married? John and no, never.
Never.
Well, that's a good question. What do you think?
I'm on the
I really
fence.
want to think yes, but based on your thoughts, it makes me think no.
Unless he changes his mind, though. You know, obviously that's what's going to have to happen. He's going to have to change his mind. But it just seems that he's experienced that and he's happy where he is.
Yeah.
Maybe he's married to his career. You know.
I think that's definitely true.
No hope for her. I'm sad for her.
Well,
I'm sorry, just the way you said it. Just the way you
I got
said
really
it.
depressed.
you know, marriage and the right partner is a very tough call for women and men as well. But
Yeah.
and she has that biological clock ticking.
TikTok.
So that's alarming as well. Okay, guys. So I think Rosie has some news and gossip. News and
Well-
gossip girl.
I don't know why you said that.
Gossip girl.
Well, I guess there was kind of two things, but one of them I already said with the Rikishi tweets because that was part of the news and gossip. But then the other thing was literally just a few hours ago, actually, Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, his father, out of the blue, passed away.
Do we know any details on?
Not yet. Don't know the details yet, but it's just crazy thing. And over these last few weeks, he watched his son main event and win WrestleMania, the biggest wrestling event there is. Then watch his son get married, and then as soon as they come back from their honeymoon, he passed away.
That's very tragic.
And there's no details on.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
him yet. I mean, as
So
before
sad.
we went on the air, who knows if something's come out since then.
And it's really, at least that's really good that he got to see those milestones for
Yeah.
his son, you know?
Yeah.
Like he saw his son's career at a new high, his son marrying his woman.
Yeah.
So there's that. But my condolences. Our
Definitely.
Yeah,
condolences.
definitely.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting because
Sad.
he obviously he was advertised because he was off last week from WWE because he was on his honeymoon with Brie, and so it was heavily advertised to be on Raw tonight. I was on this news hits, but he has he's still going to be on Monday Night Raw tonight. He's still going to
What?
somehow
He's
perform.
so
I don't know.
hard.
I don't know what he's going to. I don't know if he's going to full on wrestle a match or just be in a segment or whatever. But he's supposed to still take part in Monday Night Raw this evening.
You know, sometimes that's how people cope. They delve themselves into work when something tragic happens, you know? So at least he has that WWE family as well.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that's
Big
good.
group of people around him.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
That-
Gossip Girl? Nothing?
That's it.
Oh, okay, that's
I don't know
it.
why you're calling me Gossip Girl.
Gossip Bay.
Why are you talking about that?
Because we're Total
What happened to
Divas.
you?
Total Divas. I should talk like this on your SmackDown show
are you a-
and destroy it.
Are you 13? What just happened?
Can be. Can we move over to predictions? Predictions?
That's a good accent. Was that a British accent you were trying
Oh
to do?
no, I was doing a Valley Girl. See how terrible my accents are.
Oh,
Her accent is so
mine are
terrible.
horrific.
She was trying to do a Valley Girl, and you thought it was British.
Well, either way, I liked it.
So now I know if I ever want to sound a little bit like Charlotte, minus the husky voice,
You
I
go
can
for Valley Girl?
go for Valley
Go
Girl.
for Valley Girl.
Question mark.
You should feel so honored.
I do.
She should. Everyone loves a British accent. American accent's always like, that's an American accent.
Unless you're...
Right?
Unless you're in England.
I was going to say, if you're overseas, like if I was overseas, girls would be like, "Ooh, I love your accent."
Come on now. When
Do you think it works like that?
I don't
They
think so.
It really does.
What?
Thank you.
Really?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Any accent, people are like,
Interesting.
where are you from?
But I
Huh.
don't
Like
feel
that
like ours
annoying
are
question.
accents.
Yeah,
Well, you get it more often
There's
out
nothing
here than we
special
do.
about it.
I've been told, I asked them, what do I sound like from different people? And they said, you just sound like you're from Hollywood. I'm like, I guess we sound like we're what we sound like in movies because everyone talks like
I get
this.
Midwest accent a lot for some odd reason, and I don't
That is
know.
odd.
But in-
I'm not from the Midwest.
That is odd. You
From
just-
when you're in other countries, you like I wouldn't know the difference between LA, Northeast. I mean,
Sure.
obviously there's a bit of a difference between like New York and country and LA, but
New York and Boston.
Southern, I feel like people like Southern accents. If
You know-
you're a male.
You know what's rough is that English farm accent, the one that like Brad Pitt has in Snatch. It's weird. But let's talk about predictions real quick because now I predict that
Roy is rightfully trying to cue us out.
Total Divas will not have any accents like us. Tell us what your favorite accent is. But any predictions, guys?
We're gonna have another episode next week. That's my prediction.
Oh, there's better
Good
ones
one.
than that. Come on.
good one.
It's a reality show. What do you predict?
Well, you can look at the preview.
I say
and
this
see
every
what's
week.
gonna happen.
I predict that
Stop being
Ariane
so cynical.
finds the cat.
Oh yeah, the cat Gizmo. That's a big deal.
That is huge.
That's a
Wait,
big
didn't
deal.
Gizmo die?
Oh no,
Gizmo
yeah, you're right.
died.
yeah,
Gizmo
it's
died.
the new one. I don't remember the cat's name
The
though.
cute new one.
But could you imagine after Gizmo dying, she loses the cat?
And
Nattie's
loses
gonna
the cat.
freak out. It's
Yeah.
gonna be great.
Who would put Ariane in charge of an animal?
Where is Summer?
I don't know.
Summer's doing a movie right now.
Well, right now she's filming
But
a movie.
she's
That's why
not-
she was written off
Yeah,
TV.
but where is she?
Well, she was off. She
She was
wasn't
just
needed
off
this
one
week.
episode.
She wasn't needed this week.
She just came to slap Natty and go on her merry
Right.
way. and
She was
come back.
suspended for slapping Natty.
And what's gonna happen with Natty's nose? Did she have her
Yeah,
surgery?
did that.
Please answer these questions.
Yeah.
On this couch, but anyways. In the meantime, guys, where can we find all of you people?
You can find me on Twitter at CRosieVOC. Yeah, no Instagram or anything, just Twitter.
And if you want to see him doggy style,
That's
Position.
where you will find him.
This got weird.
nasty.
See
got
Rosie
weird.
VOC. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CharlotteB_TV.
And you can find me on Twitter at Danielle Elise P and on Instagram at Danielle Pascente.
And you can find me at KAORIOUS on Instagram as well as Twitter. You can catch the whole family here at AfterBuzz TV, and we will catch you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.